I'm Edie Ellis. On this edition of Today at Home, Dr. Craig Pryor gives you some tips on how to keep your pets comfortable during warm weather. Produce expert Donovan Fondre quenches your summertime thirst with fresh watermelon. And Linda Lee from the Sewing Workshop shows you how to make lightweight pillows for summer. Hi, I'm Edie Ellis. Welcome to the show. No matter what time of year it is, we're always getting ready for summer because that's the time we can slow down the pace a bit and stay outside as much as possible. Now, when we go outside, we of course have to take precautions, wear sunscreen, drink plenty of water, and those same things apply to our pets. Here to give you some summertime tips for your pets is veterinarian Dr. Craig Pryor. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Edie. Good,
good to see you. And who's your friend?
This is Shelley.
Oh, hello, Shelley. Beautiful.
She's a sweet girl.
Oh, she is.
But look, she's got a nice thick coat here, which is not really the best thing in summer.
No, it isn't. They get so hot.
They do, and you can do just some very simple things to help them out, to help them keep cool, and really just as regular brushing. I mean, they get very, very thick undercoats, especially as summer goes on. They start shedding a lot of this undercoat out. So if you just do daily brushings with them.
Now, I've never seen this kind of brush before, Craig. What is this one?
It's a kind of a rake type brush.
Okay.
And there's a couple of different types you can get, and really the idea is look at the different rake brushes and get the ones that you think would work best. This is great for undercoats, especially on the underside of animals, but you can get underneath those if she's got mats.
And what's the object? Just to get under there and get...
Yeah, get all the dead, loose hair out, get all the mats out of it, especially mats. If they mat up on them, great areas for hot spots to develop on dogs, especially if they get wet. It just keeps all the moisture against the skin. Very, very uncomfortable.
Is that really particularly important for long-haired dogs?
Especially long-haired dogs and cats as well. Don't forget your cats.
The
you know,
cats,
so just get in there and brush them out as much as you can, okay?
And obviously she loves it.
She does. They really enjoy it. I mean, it makes them feel so much cooler.
Right. Well, they're being touched and they love that.
Yes. And then you want to make sure that any dog or animal in general that's outdoors all the time has access to fresh water at all times. And some water will get very, very stagnant. So a couple of different things you can do. You've got this type of thing which actually attaches to your hose, and the animal walks up and just touches it and water comes out. So they can drink as much as they want, as often as they want, without running up high water bills for you.
Suppose you have animals, though, are in a yard and they're not near a hose or water spigot. You just need to make sure you have plenty of fresh water every day. Is that okay to just keep changing the water every day?
Yes, change it out. This is another good idea you can do. This is works on the principle of a toilet where you've got this little weight here that fills up with fresh water. The animal drinks it down, and then it turns itself on, fills back up again.
Now, again, this is done from your garden hose?
Garden hose. Just run a garden hose to attach it to a fence, whatever.
Yeah. And if you don't have a garden hose, I mean, let's say, you know, you have a small area.
Just a big bucket. Change it
but
out.
Make sure it's big enough and change it every day or twice a day?
Yes, twice a day would be best if you can, but just make sure there's a nice big bucket there on a daily basis.
Very important because they can get dehydrated just like we can.
And they need shade. They need to get out of this hot sun, so you need to make sure there's plenty of shade for them and in a cool area. And this is a great idea. If you look at this, you can hang it around your dog kennels, off a fence, off trees. But if you look at this, it's a very, very fine mist of water. Now, it's not drenching the animal, but it's using evaporative cooling, so it just cools the air down around the animal. They use this a lot of outdoor restaurants out in Arizona, those type of areas. It's wonderful. If you go to rock concerts, they have those set up for people out in the sun as well.
So you can really just cool off, and how great for pets, because we forget, if you go off and if you're at work all day, your pet's outside in the hot sun, they
could get heat stroke very, very easily. And then, you know, if you can't give them access to shade, then let them get inside, either in the garage or into the house itself. And if you don't want any critter under the sun getting in, then use like a dog or a cat door where they go in or out at will.
And are these hard to install, Craig?
No, very, very easy to install. You know, you can put it through walls, through doors, through garage doors, anything like that.
And you can get them at your home center hardware store. Great.
Or if you want to leave your animal inside but have fresh air for them, These go in the windows, even in the window of a car, so that the animal can't get out, but you've got plenty of fresh air going in and out for them.
And are these going to protect you from being burglarized?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
great. So
exactly.
that they have that advantage too.
A lot of people tie the dogs up in the backyard during the summer as well. Remember though, if you're going to use a system like this where it's a long lead, animals will get wrapped around trees. So make sure it's unobstructed space. So you don't want your animal, come home, find your animal heat stroked out because it's been wrapped around a tree.
Or hung on the,
Exactly.
So we need to exercise real precaution with that
just
one.
think about what you're doing.
Is there any rule of thumb for the length that we should get if we're going to do that kind of pulley system?
Not really, but
Depends on the dog.
the longer the better, you get more exercise for them. Okay. But just look at what unobstructed space you've got and work off that.
Okay, great.
All right. Animals outside should always be identified, and a number of different ways you do it. You use collars, and you put tags on them. You put a tag where they've got the name on it. On the other side, it's reflective, so at nighttime they can be seen a little bit easier. I'll show you something else to identify the animal outside at night.
Okay.
But the other thing you want to do is a lot of times animals, if they get out of the yard, they'll lose their collars, they'll lose their tags.
Right.
So you need a permanent means of identification. This is a microchip, and it's actually inside this needle here. And you inject it. The microchip's about the size of a grain of rice. It's injected beneath the skin of the shoulder blades. It's a permanent means of identification. Come here, Bowser.
Bowser, come on. Oh, great.
And when it's inserted,
Hi,
you actually sit down, Bowser, honey.
Hello. Yes, this is Bowser.
This beneath the skin of the shoulder blades, beneath the skin.
Right.
It works off low-level radio waves. If your animal gets lost or stolen, it's proof of identification.
Now, can I do this myself, or should I get my
No,
veterinarian?
your veterinarian does it for you.
Fine. Okay.
And we have these scanners. You scan the animal, and it has a unique number. Okay?
Oh.
Each chip has got its own number.
Okay.
Now, the Humane Associations and Pounds have scanners. They scan the lost animals, come up with a chip number. There's an 800 number. It's a nationwide system throughout North America. They call up, read out the chip number. They look it up and say, this animal belongs to Edie Ellis. Call her, tell her come pick up a puppy.
That is a very handy thing to have.
Wonderful.
About how much does that cost?
About $25.
Oh, but well worth it to be able to know where your dog is, you know, at all times.
And know
That's
it's
great.
going to get home to you again.
Right.
Remember, during the summer months, it's a heartworm season.
Yes.
That's transmitted by mosquitoes.
Right.
It affects dogs and cats. So all animals should be on heartworm preventative. It's very, very easy to give.
Yeah.
Once a month, that's it. She's protected, and that protects against intestinal parasites.
Now, Bowser's getting a fairly big pill, but they do it by the weight of the dog, don't
exactly.
they?
So all the weight of the cat.
Right.
Remember,
the weight of the
cats
cat.
are
That's
affected
right.
as well.
You know, I can tell I'm a dog person. I don't mean to leave out the cats out.
Yes. And it's flea and tick season. So we like to put on our topical once a month, protectant. And all we do is we just part her hair, and we squeeze it out. That's it. Bowser now has 1 month's protection against fleas and ticks. This is waterproof. It's not going to wash off. She can go swimming. I can bathe her. It's not going to come off.
That's great. So you want to look for one that is waterproof. There are some that once they get wet, you have to do it again.
Yes.
Okay.
And so now my animals are flea and tick free, and so is my family, and that's just as important because I have children.
Oh, it really is. Of course.
Yes.
And you know, if the dog has fleas, then you're going to have fleas in your house.
Exactly. And then you get a real problem.
Okay.
All right. The other things, a lot of people like to spend a lot of time outdoors with their animals.
Right.
Walking, jogging, especially at nighttime in the cool evenings. We have these reflective type things that you put on your animal.
Oh, of course, because people who jog wear reflective things on their shoes or reflective clothing. If your dog is going to be with you, of course, what a great idea.
And a lot of dogs get hit at night
Bowser,
by cars.
this is your color, honey.
And this is actually police department approved.
Right.
All right. So
good. Oh, that's good too.
Yes.
Okay, good.
So
and they don't mind. This is lightweight, so they're not going to mind
very lightweight.
Doing that. And where do you get these? Just where can you find this reflective? Okay,
pet stores. Some areas with the tarmacs, outdoor dogs, especially working dogs, where it gets very, very hot, you can put booties on them, protect their feet.
From the heat.
From the heat.
Because of the heat, the hot pavement, of course. Because these are very sensitive, aren't they? Yeah.
Exactly. These work well in winter as well with ice and snow.
Right. And really, do dogs just hate putting those on? I mean, is there a way to...
it's just a matter of getting them used to it, just the same as this.
Of course, they love this.
I mean, she thinks she looks very, very pitiful with this on. But a lot of dogs get sunburn as well, especially ones with non-pigment areas on their nose. So you want to protect them from the sun either by using a cap. You can use sunscreen on them. Some dogs have very, very sensitive eyes, so you can even throw sunglasses on them. That'll help them out as well.
That's great. And also, the one thing you don't want to do is to go off and leave your dog in a hot car. If you're going to the store and you know you're going to be gone several hours, don't leave the dog in the car without rolling down the window. Even then, know, if it's hot, it's not going to do much good.
In a matter of 10 minutes, you can kill a dog. The temperatures can go from literally 80 degrees inside a car to 120 degrees, and the dog will die in minutes. So never leave a dog or a child in a car with the windows.
And unless they have possibly cool sunglasses on like Bowser, and then I don't think, then they're going to say we're fine, but they're not. It's very important to
And
take
for those people with outdoor...
Bowser, those are you.
Outdoor pools or lakes or things like that, or do a lot of swimming with their animals. If your animal cannot swim well, get yourself, your animal, a lifeguard approved, Coast Guard approved life jacket.
Isn't that something? That's really quite extraordinary. I mean, Bowser she looks just stunning. Thank you so much for giving us such safety tips for our pets. And stay with us. We've got a lot more show to come.